like signal. Of course I did, you know, but they understood when let us know I was 15 or 21. Yeah, I just really trips my trigger that you could do so much with such little power. So amazing. Well, you know, the reason that I'm working on all this, you know, and that's legit. I wanted something that, you know, for disaster, for Erie, whatever may happen, go sideways, and I know that I've got an idea. So let's say at a later date you want more power, you can put an amplifier on that thing, right? They make an amplifier that mates right up to it. The cabling already came with it, and you put 10 watts in, and it's 100 watts out. Wow. Okay, that deal for the money. That's just amazing. Well, the other part of that is that, of course, you know, if I'm running battery only, right now I haven't charged battery in a week, and it's only, you know, it's like 12 and a half volts right now, maybe a little bit more, and it just, you know, keeps going and going and going. But put that amp on it, all of a sudden, instead of, you know, really kilowatts, milliamps, you know, coming out, you start bringing down 8 or 9 amps every time you heat up. Yeah, roger that. That makes a lot of sense. That's a 20 amp hour battery, right? Affirmative. Yes, it's a 20 amp hour battery. And I'm just so impressed with it because, like I said, it just keeps going. And, you know, doesn't show any signs of, you know, depletion. Yeah, that is cool. I want to say we use it, well, not all of it, but on some of the smaller alarm panels, I think we put it in, gosh, I want to say an 8 hour battery in there. Well, that's a long time. Oh, yeah, and I've got several of those in the house that are, you know, 8, 9, I think I got a couple of them, maybe 11. But most of them I think are 8 or 9. Yeah, they last a long time. I've tried to work with a couple of them in series, they're not series, but they parallel. And it had excellent lasting power, but nothing like this 20 amp hour battery is doing. That is just
Hey, Lee.
sure, I just backed in here at Fire Station 7, so get your canarson down here. I heard another station trying to jump in there, I think.
Yeah, question for Lee, W5I. Didn't I say one of those amplifiers that 5, 10 watts in, 100, 100 and a half out? Well, that's a shame. I had 4 of them. You'd be a good candidate for something like that.
Yeah, definitely would. I have that.
Yeah, wonder where you got the 922 from.
I think you know the
I bet I probably do. I have to think about it. Yeah, I had 4 of those amplifiers, and they work real good. 100-watt rigs, 10, 15 watt input. You know, 2 of them would put out about almost 300.
yeah. Well, like I said, you know, just running on the battery, yeah, it's just start running that power, and that's the battery.
Yeah, yeah, that worth more in my car. A 20-watt input, it gives me 175. Yeah, big alternator, big battery. All right, I'll let you get out, get in. Got Zoom up and yeah, got 1, 2, 3, 4 that are tuned into this, and we'll see what's going on. All right, 73, 75, I think. Hi, Carl.
Hey, Harold.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
I don't have my camera turned on because I don't have my teeth in. I don't want to scare everybody.
We appreciate that.
What's that, Ken?
I said, we appreciate that.
Oh, I know it. You guys are all sound like in good mood tonight.
We're always in a good mood.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, well, that's a good deal. All right. Yeah, I was just talking to Lee Mobile. He should be walking into the door any second.
Is that Ken I see sitting down over there?
Well, Bill's about ready to sit down. Looks like there he's getting ready. There he goes.
I think I've got some audio now. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
You're 10 over 9. And hello, Carl and Mike, and everybody.
I'd had that audio cable disconnected and I had to dig it out from underneath the desk there and plug it in.
Yeah, that is Ken at the fire station.
I thought that was him. Bill, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. I actually got out and did some work on the hex beam today.
Good. This is a good day to work outside.
Well, I was in the building.
Yeah.
I'm still putting it together in the building, but I got quite a bit done on it.
Good.
I've got all the center section built, and I've got all the fiberglass poles mounted,
Good
and all
deal.
the clamps and wire guides
Yeah.
that are on there. So it's coming along okay.
Well, we have a young lady on here now.
Tell her who you are.
It's Barbara Jean.
Barbara
Harold's
Jean.
wife.
Oh,
Yeah,
What you call sign?
Katie by ZBB.
ZBB,
ZBB.
CVB.
Victor.
All right.
Bravo.
Fantastic.
She even has a hat with that on there, so she won't forget it.
Yeah.
I thought she would look better than I would sitting there.
We can sit back down here. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. See you later.
Suck me in on that one.
So we made a little progress on the antenna, huh, Bill?
Yes, I did. There's a bunch of parts to that thing.
I know it. Yeah.
I've still got the next task is to string all the wires around
Yeah.
from pole to pole to pole to pole and get them tensioned and I've got a bunch of parachute cord or whatever you call it to
Yeah,
cut to length. The elements themselves are cut to length and pre-terminated, so
mhm, good.
that's good.
Yeah,
But there's a bunch of the parachute cord that pulls the
mhm,
fiberglass poles up into the arc have to be
Yeah.
cut and put on and strung up.
yeah,
And then I
there's
can
quite
start.
a bit to it in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I helped Ham there in Shawnee. His name was Casey. I helped him put one up, but he had all that together before a group of us came over to help him put it up in the air.
That
But
thing
we-
is, the thing's heavier than I expected it to be.
Yeah,
And it's not all there, but most of everything that weighs anything is already mounted to the center pole.
yeah.
But just trying to scoot it around is a pretty big job.
You're gonna have some help, aren't you?
Yeah, probably when I try to mount it to the mast.
Yeah.
I'll
Bill, is
probably-
it homemade or store bought?
No, it's a DX Engineering kit.
Mm.
What do you think the weight is, Bill?
I don't know. I'm sure they say somewhere, but I would guess right now the thing is, I don't know, 75, 80 pounds maybe, or
That's pretty heavy.
For a hex beam? Wow.
well, that's a guess. I don't know. It just I didn't really try to pick it up. I just tried to scoot it. I've got it mounted on a stand I made for it. And I just tried to scoot the stand across the floor, and it didn't scoot very easy. So I put the stand up on my creeper and rolled it over to where I needed it to be, and then unloaded it. But that fiberglass is pretty heavy, and then it's got that big aluminum center section, and I don't know, there's quite a few pieces there that it all adds up.
Hey,
Now,
Bill,
the 6 through 20, they're usually about 25 pounds, give or take a couple pounds. Typically.
Yeah, I think this thing weighs more than 25 pounds, but
you want to trade it for my 135-pound Mosley?
I don't know whether my tower would take your 135-pound Mosley or not.
What Mosley is it?
Pro 67, 7 element.
Yeah,
That's a big beam.
Yeah, the weight is mostly the 40 element.
yeah.
Yeah, the length on the 40s are 39.8 inches, I think. That's pretty long.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You must have a really heavy duty tower you've got that mounted on.
Oh yeah, it's a Tri-X, the LM 470 motorized. It's down 7 feet in the ground and 7 cubic yards of concrete to hold it there.
I have a TA 36.
Wonderful antenna. I've had 2 of them. Those things will really open the airways on 20 meters, I'll tell you that.
They do. Yeah,
What is it about? They're almost 5.5 dB gain on that band, I think, something like that,
That's
if I
so, yeah.
remember
I can't remember. Close to 6, I remember.
right. Yeah.
Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
is that the 5 TAP-2?
The hex beam.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me see. I've got the manual for it here. Let's see what they call it. Yeah, it's the X Beam Mark II. There's,
how long did you have to wait for yours to come?
no time at all. They had it in stock and shipped it within a couple of days.
You must have got the last one.
Oh, really?
It says estimated ship date is February 28th of 2022.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
You made out okay.
It, according to this literature, it weighs 24.9 pounds.
Really?
That's the antenna itself. I don't know where you're getting the 70 pounds.
I know he didn't have his Cheerios that morning.
Ah, that must be it.
Says it weighs 20 pounds. So 20, what, 25 pounds?
About 20, yeah, 20, rounded off to 25 pounds.
Hmm.
The one I'm looking at anyway.
Well, my stand weighs probably that much. So add the two of them together. That stand, that stand what probably weighs more than 25 pounds, in fact.
Bill, what kind of tower do you have?
I have a, what was it, a Universal, is that right?
I think that's right, Bill.
Universal aluminum tower, 40-foot aluminum
40
tower.
foot.
Oh, yeah, there's no problem with that.
And then I'll have some mast on top of that, and then
You already got that mast mounted to the tower
no, I haven't.
and your rotor?
No, I haven't put I've only got the first section of tower
Oh,
up,
together, yeah.
and the other three sections are still laying in my shop. So I didn't see a reason to put it together and,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I had to rent a forklift to get this tower into the backyard. I think it was over 500 some pounds.
Oh my goodness. This tower is a little light compared to that.
Yeah, this galvanized steel, and then it's got that motor and everything on the base of it.
So you turn the whole antenna, the whole tower, right?
No. The motor just raises it and lowers it, or it will lean it up or lay it down.
Oh,
You have
okay.
to change the cable for that. But right now it's got a button on it. You push it and it'll raise the tower up, or it'll lower it down to 25 feet.
So
Go ahead, Bill.
well, I was going to say it's in sections and
Yeah, there's 4 sections.
It's
of the tower.
telescopes inside.
okay.
Yeah.
How,
Okay.
how tall is it?
70 feet.
That's
Wow.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got 22 foot of mast. The mast pole itself weighs 63 pounds.
Yeah.
Good
How many
grief.
antennas you got on it?
Oh, at the very top, it's a 2-meter 440. And then I have the Mosley. It's very, right under that, about 5 feet.
From the
And then I
road?
have the I have the 75-meter horse fence antenna. And it's just, to the tower, about 60 feet.
Well, have you been working any DX?
Well, yeah, the 15 meters was alive the other day. And
I just got through working South Korea and Singapore on 15.
South Korea.
South
I don't
Korea and Singapore.
No, I've never gotten to South Korea, but I worked 3 stations in Japan, and they were coming in at a 10 over S9.
Yeah. I've worked South Korea probably 4 or 5 times in the past week.
Do you have trouble with their accent?
Not too bad on digital modes.
No, I was on voice. And those little Japanese guys, man, I tell you what, I have a hard time. Their English is pretty good, but it's the accent that goes along with it. What trips me.
I don't have that problem on digital modes.
Well, next time I'll try digital. I don't have any problem CW. It just seems like the accents are always the same.
Yeah. And 40 meters is hopping right now.
Oh, yeah. I imagine so. Probably get some foreign broadcast in by now. Let me turn this thing on. Oh, 75 is hopping already.
I worked a lot of stations on 17 meters. Oh, I worked quite a few on 10 meters today too.
Ooh,
10 meters.
has it been working?
It was kind of open today, not fantastic, but I did work several Europeans and a couple of stations in Africa.
Yeah, yeah.
FT8.
Yeah. I worked 2 or 3 stateside that called me. I didn't call me, and they, tail ended on the end of a QSO. But I worked a lot of good stations in Europe today and Northern Africa. Oh, and I worked at Delta 44 in Cape Vista. Is that the name of that island off of Africa?
Sounds about right.
It's where all them hurricanes start at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Delta 44 something. Haven't worked that country in a long time, several years.
Is there any 10-meter sideband activity?
I didn't even look, Bill, but I'm sure there was. I'm sure there was.
Usually is, yeah.
When it's open, when 10 meters is open, people find it. It's a fun band. Hadn't been open really good in the past few years, but every once in a while it will surprise you. So don't forget to check. It's kind of like 6 meters. We should be checking 6 meters more than we do, but
I usually every day around 10 o'clock, I go through all of the bands, starting from the top and work down. And I guess maybe I missed out because I haven't done that in a day or two. But that's generally what I normally do.
yes.
But one thing about 10 meters is you got a pretty good antenna. Man, you can work the world 10 watts on that thing.
Yeah, you don't need a lot. Okay, I worked Balearic Island, Wales, England, South Africa, Spain, France, Uruguay, Cuba, Venezuela, Ecuador, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Philippines, and Namibia in Africa today.
You've been a busy guy, Dave.
And a few statesiders. Oh, I did work Maine on 10 meters today too. Yeah, there was a lot of good stateside stations on 10 that are hard to get. So if a guy was trying to work all states on 10, you should have been on today, because Maine and Rhode Island and New Hampshire and West Virginia, which for some reason is kind of hard to get, but Rhode Island is really a bear to get. There's not too many people in Rhode Island that are hams.
New Hampshire's like Vermont. There's just not a lot of hams there.
That's right. Yeah. And I used to work 630 meters. That's below the broadcast band. And we used to kid that the reason there was nobody in Rhode Island on 630 meters because the state wasn't big enough for the antenna.
Is that 630-meter antenna on its own mast or own pole?
It is, the pole is the antenna. It's a vertical. It's a 60-foot vertical made out of 4-inch diameter aluminum irrigation tubing.
And the tubing is 60 foot high?
60 foot tall, 4-inch diameter. And it's got 6 top loading wires on it that each one of them are 45 feet long. Then it has a base loading coil on it. Takes all of that stuff to resonate at 475 kilohertz.
Yeah.
That'd make a good offshore fishing pole if you could mount a reel to it, put some mileage on it.
Yeah,
You could cast that thing a half a mile.
it could be for deep sea fishing from the shore.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I used to do a lot of that. I'm originally a Florida boy, and those long rods is the key to casting that bait out there.
So Ken, is that mast that or pole you were talking about, the irrigation pipe, do you have it guide?
Yes, I do. I've got 3 sets of guys. I've got 9 guy wires on it, 3 sets of 3.
And
Or-
you insulate the guy wires from
Yes.
the pole right at where you attach to the pole, or?
Yeah, and they're guy ropes,
Oh, ropes. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
but I still have an insulator in them because if they get wet or icy, the RF will still go through them. And I've got the insulators are about 6 inches long, porcelain insulators. It was hard putting that mess up by myself with all them ropes, guy ropes, and 6 top loading wires. Man,
And you put it up by yourself?
yeah, things was getting tangled up.
Holy moly. Would you hinge it at the bottom some way and then?
Yeah, it's
Tilt
hinged
it
at the
up.
bottom, and I used a piece of that same 30-foot section of that same tubing as a gin pole to pull it up.
Okay.
So when the 60-foot vertical was laying on the ground, the gin pole was sticking straight up. Then I'm gonna pull the gin pole down, pulls the 60-foot antenna up.
Right. You
Hello,
pull.
John.
How you doing, Ken?
Well, there's
Hey, John.
John. I've been trying to get a hold of you.
Oh, did you email me?
No, I was looking for your phone number, but nobody, I didn't have it and Ken didn't have it.
Well, Ken's got it.
No, I don't either.
Well, shoot.
You can give it to me though, John.
Yeah. It's here, I'll put it in the chat. There it is. I see Mr. Harold's here tonight.
Hey, how you doing, Doc?
Pretty good, Harold. How you been?
Well, I've had a couple of spells, but down with the back for about 3 weeks. But I finally got cured of that. Had to go back to the doctor twice, but he finally gave me something that cured it.
Good. Good to see Harold on here tonight.
Well, John,
Yeah.
I've got some stuff for you.
Okay. Well, I put my number in the chat. Now, whenever I was calling Ken, is that your home phone, Ken, that I'm calling?
Yeah,
Okay, that's why.
and it don't save the number.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I got you now though.
Yep, there you go.
Put you in my little book. I got
Put it in the Rolodex.
I got all these hams in the back of my phone book.
Oh, I just thought of something that we were talking about my tower there, Bill. If you ever get bored, go to YouTube and just type in my call sign, and it'll come up. It shows the video of my tower and stuff. Pretty cool. Of
Just,
course, Carl, he's already seen my tower. He's been out there standing underneath it once, I think. Isn't that right, Carl?
Several times.
He's several times.
Back when you used to have get-togethers at your house.
Yeah, when I had the parties.
You
Yeah.
and your lovely spouse, and of course, all those other times that we worked on radio equipment, you and showing me how to adjust that amplifier that I bought from you.
Oh, yeah. How's that amplifier doing?
I sold it and it was working fine when I had it, and I sold it. And the guy said that he had problems with it and that it was arcing and whatnot. And so anyway, I ended up with it back, and I haven't plugged it in since
Yeah, I was thinking
since I got
about
it
keeping
back.
that. I sold it, but I sold all of that stuff, but I was thinking about keeping that particular one.
What kind of amplifier is it?
Tell him, Carl, I forget what it was now. It was the
Yeah,
Green Pig?
I actually got several of them, but it's a Heathkit SB 220.
Oh, wow.
And I also picked up a Meritron 811
Yeah,
and a Meritron
AL80A.
880 AL80A. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm running the AL80B here in the house. Love it.
Yeah, and I guess that was the AL80A that I brought over there that day that we tried out on your antenna.
Yeah. I remember now.
That SB 220 is very popular.
Yeah,
Well, it's easy to work on. It's easy to get parts, and yeah, they're marvelous amp. They're not hard to keep on the air.
I got a pair of
Okay.
592s in them, right? Pair of
What's that?
592s.
It's
Tubes are pair of 592s, right?
pair of 3500Zs.
yeah, 3500Z. Yeah.
And
It's
boy,
a-
those things are getting
It's a
expensive now.
220.
220.
Yeah, it's considered a 2 kW radio, but it's because of the way that they measured it. But it probably would power output on it, wattage is, yeah, you could probably go well over 1500 watts.
Believe me, it will, and not strain. I've had one like that. I called them the Green Pigs, not that particular one. I had one and I bought around 95 and into a W load. It easily went to 1800 watts.
Yeah, I need a knob for that too. One of the regular big knobs that's on the front of it.
What
Yes.
knob?
It's the same knob on
It burns 46 pounds.
a lot of the
You're struggling
Heathkits.
to lose weight and you're over 25.
Okay.
Then you need to hear
The
this.
center
People are
portion
burning
of it
2.5 pounds of fat each
got
night
broke out.
by adding this one ingredient.
I'll look around.
Yeah, I had it up at Bob's place up in Edmond, the consignment shop. And it seems like several things bad happened to it while it was up there.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
No, it's not.
I got the little netbook computer ready to go too. I put you in there as a user and took me out. So
Yeah, I'll give you, when I'm done when I'm done with the route, I'll give you a call tomorrow, Ken,
okay,
if that's okay.
so it's pretty well cleaned up and got all my stuff off of there. And I think the only thing I left on there was qrz.com. So you can show her how to look up your call sign
Yeah.
in there. And well, you need to get her a ham license.
Well, she wants to take 2 elements in February. I told her to start with tech in January.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing. So
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. She can do it. If she passes, okay. If she don't, it'll help her out the next time she
yeah.
So
You know how I persuaded the Barbara Jean to get her ham license? When we were still dating and talking about marriage, I said, there's one license that you have to get beforehand. And she says, what's that? I says, you have to get your ham license before you get the wedding license. She went to Oklahoma City, enrolled in that school out there, and just about aced the technician's license. She came home with the license and says, okay, now what's your problem?
hello,
3 weeks,
Josh.
3 weeks later, we were married.
Hello, all.
Hello, all.
Yeah, hello.
Is that
You got
Mark?
quite the group tonight.
This is my first time coming to the Elmer night. I'm not a ham yet, so
That's fine.
I'm planning on taking my exam here in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
I'm longtime friends with Peter Core, so I've known that guy for 25 years.
Can you admit that?
Yeah, and my sister-in-law was Conrad Warren's daughter. So,
Was she a ham?
no, I don't think so.
Well, Conrad was though.
Yeah.
But I've already started getting some gear. I got my first radio for Christmas. It's an ICOM ID 5100 Alpha.
So when do you take your test?
On the 6th.
All right, there you go. First Thursday of the month.
So
You gonna take one element or all 3?
I'm just gonna do the technicians for now. So
well, good.
So that's a IC 5500, did you say?
5100.
5100?
It's a dual band, dual receive, has D-stars on it, built-in GPS. It will do a crossband repeat. So
Yeah.
and I'm gonna set it up as a base station. So I got a power supply and everything, and I got coax coming. I just need an antenna. That's what I need.
I understand that dilemma.
Real quick, Mr. Harold, how's that Kenwood working out for you?
My Kenwood?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's right there. I'm looking at it.
Oh, I know. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Listen to that, everybody. That's that 990S right there. That's the big one.
990. Yes, 990.
Well, 990, but you know.
990.
So John, is that the one you're saving your money for?
No. I'm gonna get the 890S. The 990 is out of my price range at this juncture.
Like I said before, that
Hey, a quick question. Is there any, I had talked to Mark a few weeks ago about ordering one of the Ed Fong J-poles. Is there any update on when those may be coming in?
I think they're already in, but Ed Fong had a heart attack not long after.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that on his website that he had a stent put in November.
You'd have to get a hold of either Mark or Peter Laws.
Okay. Because that's the only thing I'm missing right now, in order to have an operational station as an antenna.
I think Mark's already got his Ed Fong up too. I'm not going to quote myself, but
Okay.
I even think Peter's got his up too. But I think it was like 3 or 4 days after that meeting. I think it was in July or August. I can't remember. But he had a heart attack. I think it was July. I want to say it was July.
Because I've been looking at other antennas like Comet and then Diamond, like the there's a Comet one that's I think it's $149. It's like a 10-foot vertical, 2 meters, 70 centimeter antenna.
You can get a J pole on eBay for $33.
Okay.
So, hey Harold, you on 40?
Yeah. No, I'm on 75.
75. Okay.
75. Yeah, I'm on 3922.
Yeah, I thought I heard you the other day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
3927 we listened to, and it wasn't very fun.
Yeah, I made her on 7145 or 3922. Then at 12:30 at night, I'm on 3868.
Okay. Well, I'm not that late, but
Oh, that's when things just start happening.
well, I know. Well, that's whenever I got to be in bed, and get up and go to work in the morning.
Work? What's that?
Well, I don't know yet.
Something I used to do.
I can barely remember that far back.
Getting harder every day.
Yeah.
Next month I'll be 73. I know that's not up with some of you guys, but some of you I still got to call sir.
I've been retired for 22 years. How about you, Bill?
I've been retired for just about 20. I retired about 3 years after you did.
I was thinking you did, yeah.
I retired in 03.
22 years, and that has gone by so fast.
It has.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Boy,
I
you
retired in
perhaps-
07.
I retired 25 years ago.
Well,
Wow.
I hope to retire in 25 years.
Retired from what? You never worked.
Yeah, right.
You had a cushy job.
Hey, Joshua, on those antennas, Comet and another company, and I can't think of the name of it right now, have a tri-band antenna, vertical, that a ground plane antenna that, yeah, it's a little expensive, but it's actually a very good antenna for what it is.
Okay.
Josh, you in Norman?
Yeah, I'm in Norman. Yeah.
Where at?
West Side, 36th and Main.
I have a J pole over here that I'm not using. You want it?
Sure, why not?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That'll get you on the air.
There to get you on the air.
Where you?
My phone number is in the chat there.
Okay.
Just text me. It's sitting over here. It's just sitting against the wall. So I don't use it much anymore, but
What's that made out of, John? Is that aluminum?
it's copper.
Copper. It's heavy then.
It's not too bad, but it's got a place here where you can unscrew it.
Yeah.
And then I got the cable. You can have the cable too.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
if you go to Lowe's to buy that copper, it costs you $50 for that much copper now.
Well, you know, I got this a couple of years ago, but I changed it out with something else. So, but I think I got this from a guy on eBay for $35 or whatever. And
So, John, where should I mount that?
so what I did is I just went to Home Depot and I got a 20-foot pole, like a fencing pole. And then I just used a now I can't think of it. Geez. I used a clamp, a hose clamp, and I just put it upright. and it worked just fine.
You mean like a 20-foot fence rail, top rail? Is that what you bought?
Yeah, you can do 10 foot or 20 foot, whatever you want. I mean, what do you got room for? And anyway, I have a what is it called? I can't think of it, but it's a stake that will drive the pole into the ground. And I use just 10-foot pole, then I attach it to a 20-foot pole, and it's just clamped on there.
Get it up as high as you can, Josh.
And it's upright, and it's done good in the wind. But if you're just getting started, I mean, there's not much you got to do.
Okay.
Put it on your peak of your house or something.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Yeah, just send me a text, and I'll take it over to you.
All right.
Can you still get chimney mounts? Remember you could come out and it would be straps that went around your chimney that had an offset to put a pole on. I haven't seen those things in years. Do they still make those things?
I don't know if he's got a chimney or not.
They do make them, yes.
Well, those are ideal for putting up a 2-meter antenna because, even a single story house is what, 30, 35 feet. And then put a 10-foot pole up your mast, you're at 40, 42 feet. And boy, that's really good for 2-meter 440. That's it gets you over just about everything in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, John, so that J pole that you have there,
Yeah.
will it work on 2-meter and 70 centimeter?
Sure will.
Okay, cool.
I have 2 of them. I ordered that one and didn't realize I had the same one in storage. And so it's been leaning up against the wall now for about 6 months.
Does it have the SO239 connector on the bottom?
Everything is there. It's even got the cable. You can have the cable too.
How much cable you got there?
50 feet.
All right. All right.
Talk about a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Did
Now
you
we get
say,
out like a champ.
You
Did
can
you
go
say-
pick up. Go ahead.
did you say 50 feet? Or 15 feet?
15 feet what?
He's
Right.
talking to you, John, about the cable.
Oh, it's 50 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, I always go 50 feet because, like I said, I told you guys, I run my stuff through the hole in the wall where the door opens here, and it's got to go out into the backyard. And so that's what my little stupid old handheld's attached to. I don't know if you can see it, but here it is. That's how I get on 2 meters or whatever. Speaking of which, Harold, I heard the barking dog finally.
You heard what? Oh, you heard the barking dogs?
The barking dog.
Oh, great. I thought maybe nobody was hearing it. And I thought maybe I was the only one that
No,
was.
and I emailed Mark about it, and it sounds like it's a recording. It does not sound like it's an actual dog.
No, it's not. It's not a recording because I've heard it several times different because I've heard the single dog and I've heard the dual dogs. And one recording I heard, or one time I heard it, I actually heard voices. So no, it's somebody's got a radio that's on box.
No,
And
well, no,
anytime you
because this guy was coming over 20 meters a week ago.
Well, this guy was coming. He's simplex. He's not tuning the hitting the repeater. He's on our frequency, but he's simplex.
It could have been a different one, John.
Yeah, well, I heard somebody, and they were really irritating the hell out of me. I was trying to get somebody in freaking South Africa, and that
Yeah.
dog was just a barking.
Wow.
Because the barking dog was there this afternoon. I heard it once.
There it
Yeah,
goes,
20
Josh. Sorry about that.
Now, 20 meters, that's isn't the barking dog that we've been talking about in the past? Isn't that only on 2 meters?
Well, no, the dog that I heard on 20 meters about 7 days ago, man, it was just repeat like it's a loop,
Yeah.
a constant loop of a dog barking.
Maybe it's a number station.
There you go.
But it irritated that. What was that, Ken?
I didn't say anything.
Oh,
Josh
you
did.
laughed.
Josh said it was a number station.
No, this thing was on a loop, and every time I keyed up, and the guy was trying to come back with my call sign, he'd get to AC4, and this dog would start barking again, and he'd start talking about QRM, and he just finally gave up on me. And I was like, that bastard is somewhere around town. I don't know where he is, which is amazing to me because 20 would go way over where I'm at. So
if it was on 20 meters, he
Just,
could have been
you know, I
anywhere.
Now, I've been talking a lot with Peter about all this stuff. I mean, I kind of just ran back into him after 20 something years. I haven't seen the guy in a long time, and he's been telling me about that. With 2 meters, depending on what the atmospheric conditions are, I mean, your signal can go very, very, very far on 2 meters.
Hey, Joshua, you're not too far away from the actual Elmer's going on at the fire station over there close to the airport.
Yeah.
Have you considered going over there tonight and actually seeing those guys that are actually at the Elmer night tonight?
Do you know where that's at, Josh?
Oh yeah, it's up. It's the fire station that's on Westheimer.
That's what that meeting is that you're seeing.
Well, I see Jeffrey White.
I thought about it, but I had other things that I had to do tonight, so I figured I'd just jump on here on the Zoom call and show my face to some of you guys. So
That's fine, but I'm gonna give you this antenna. Don't get on the air till you get licensed. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
You've been on here before, hadn't you, Josh?
No, this is my first time.
I was thinking
I've known about the group for about 6 months to a year, maybe even longer than that, and just I don't know. I finally decided, you know what? I'll go ahead and just jump on the bandwagon and finally do something that I've been wanting to do for probably 20 years and get my amateur radio operator's license. So,
well, good deal. You won't regret it too much. Maybe a little bit.
Joshua,
yep.
Since you were given a 2 meter 440 antenna, I've got a incentive for you. You get your general license and I will give you a brand new antenna for that.
Cool.
So there you go. These guys are great.
All right. Well, looks like I need to start studying for that too. So
I'm not going to give you a radio. You'll have to buy that, but I'll give you an antenna.
Well,
you'll have to get a tuner for it because it's a multi-band, but it requires a tuner.
Where you work at, Josh?
Work at a company called Cummins Allison. We do currency counters and coin counters and stuff like that. A lot of our customers are banks and casinos, and we got our big machines in casino count rooms that will count like thousands to tens of thousands of pieces of currency every hour and stuff like that. So before that, I was working for a company called Imperial I was a vending machine technician, and I'm a reservist in the U.S. Navy. So
yay!
So
retired Navy.
Yeah. So I'm a naval meteorologist. I'm a aerographer's mate in the Navy. So I do. So weather is one of my things.
Well, we got some of that in Oklahoma.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I think John is real interested in meteorology.
I'm a student for meteorology.
Yeah, and just it with anything meteorology related, weather related, it just takes one event that just kind of makes you look back and question some of the stuff that's happened in the past, like that tornado that happened earlier in December in Kentucky. I mean,
yeah,
that thing, I looked at the data, and that an absolute monster. I mean, when you've got a storm that's so powerful that you can see the debris signature at 35,000 feet, then you know that you have no words. So, I mean, and this is coming from someone who actually witnessed the May 20th EF5 that went through Moore back in 2013 with his own eyes. And that's just the shock and amazement of seeing something that's so destructive like that with your own eyes. Just kind of just gives you a different perspective on it.
I've seen some of those houses where it even stripped the concrete out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Footing was pulled out of the ground.
May 3rd.
Yeah, and I mean, just the one piece, another piece of the data is that the Paducah radar at 5,000 feet had like 282 miles per hour of shear in that machine, in that tornado.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you can extrapolate that down to the surface, and that would have been well over 300 and well over 300 miles per hour at the surface.
Well, Josh Werman would argue with you.
Well, I'm just a Navy meteorologist. I just know how to look at the data.
No, I got you. I'm just saying that
I'm kind of cut from the cloth of almost like a Reed Timmer / David Payne. I mean,
Encino Man. Oh.
Did you say Encino Man?
I said Encino Man.
For David Payne?
Yep, and then you got Casey Kasem over on Channel 4.
Yeah.
So
I love David. I love David. He's definitely mellowed as the years have gone on, but he was an absolute wild man 10 or 15.
Oh yeah, he used to be, yeah. Well, I was in the Army and I served with a bunch of Marines. I was attached to them in Iraq, and yeah, they had nicknames for guys, and one of them was Encino Man, and the other one was Casey Kasem, and it was hilarious because one of them was the commander and the other one was the company first sergeant.
No, I do like Damon. Damon Lane's pretty good over there on 5.
Yeah, he seems pretty chill.
Yeah, but Mike Morgan's just a moron.
He's kept his job for a long time.
You got to give him that, even from the days that he cheated at OU.
Yeah, I don't like. And Jeff George over at Channel 25 is pretty good too. I've met the guy; he's pretty chill. He's
the only one that I've ever met. Have you ever met Steve Carano?
Yeah, I when I was at Rose State in 2000, I took his intro to meteorology class when he taught it. Yeah, so I know.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude.
Yeah, Steve Carano's really good.
I talked to him for a little while.
Yeah.
I went over there to take a calculus class during the summer, and I ran into him, and he was pretty fascinating.
Oh yeah, he's pretty chill. Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. And I know one of the chasers for Channel 9 too. I've known the guy for like 25 years or so. Rob Satkus. He usually rides with Tom Pastrana.
I don't watch the local coverage, so I wouldn't know.
That's about the only reason I do tune into the local stations, the local news stations when it's weather, because.
Hey Josh, what have you been using to study, or have you?
I've been doing hamstudy.org, and I've read through the Buck book a couple of times. So.
Yeah, that hamstudy.org is very good, especially if you have an account, so that it will give you the questions that you miss again and again and again. I assume that you opened up a username with hamstudy.org.
Yeah, I have an account there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's real good when it gives you the questions that you miss. I can give you a couple suggestions. I'm on the VE team that gives administers the tests for the SCARS Club.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things that stand out. One, that practically everybody that studies for the first two tests for the tech and the general, they use, more often than not, they pass them both in the first night. And one of the reasons for that is because the tech questions are about half of the general questions. And so if you can pass the tech, well, then you've already got know the answers to half the general, the questions on the general test. And the other thing is that on that hamstudy.org, it's, some people will have you take the practice tests, and that's a waste of time. And it's actually worse than a waste of time, because if you don't go through all the question pool before you take the practice tests, well, then of course you're going to get a low score on it. So you need to go through the entire question pool before you start taking any of the practice tests.
But that changes, Carl, in June, right?
Yeah, I think so for the tech, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And there's one other thing on the hamstudy.org. When you go through the flip cards, if you are not absolutely sure on the answer, always pick that you don't know what the answer is, because that way it will continue to give you that question over and over again. If you guess at it and you get it right, well, then it won't give it to you, very often again, if at all. So that was one of the things that I learned when I used that, was that, never guess at them, because you want it to give you back. Because if you get it correct, the next 2 or 3 times that you get it, well, then great. You've got it. But if you guess at it but you weren't really sure and you got it right, well, there's a good possibility that you're going to miss it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Fellas, I'm gonna jump out of here. Good to see and hearing everybody here tonight, and you all have a good evening now. I got some other things I gotta do.
All right. Good to see you, Harold.
Good to see you, Harold. Have a good one.
Pleasure to meet you, Harold.
Maybe we'll catch you all on an airwave somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and good talking with you this afternoon on 2 meters.
Oh yeah, always.
I've got a couple of fence posts in my yard that are set in concrete.
Uh-huh.
Now, if I got like a 20-foot aluminum pole or something like that to put the antenna on, you'd think if I just strapped it to those fence posts, that'd be okay to fasten it to the ground?
Yeah.
I think that would work fine.
Yeah.
Wooden fence posts or metal fence posts?
They're wooden.
Be
One
sure.
of them is
You don't have to be up that high. You really don't.
Those wooden fence posts have a bad habit of rotting right at ground level. So be sure and check them really good right where they meet the ground. In fact, dig out a little bit around them.
I mean, crap, I think I have 2 posts back there. If you want those too, I'll give them to you.
I've tried to take one of them out. I just can't get the darn thing out of the ground. I think the thing's probably set in the ground with 2 foot of concrete. So I just can't get it.
I wish I could show you, but I do have a couple of aluminum posts that if you want, they're
Okay.
10 feet each.
All right, cool.
They're all yours.
That's outstanding. I appreciate it, John.
Yeah, man, anything to get people on the air. That's what I want. I think Ken would agree with me, right?
I agree.
But he wants digital. And I ain't coming out of the Stone Ages. Not now. No.
Oh, there's still time, John.
And I've been reading up on that you can actually, you can mess around and make contacts with the ISS on 2 meters, which I think is incredible.
We did it. We did it whenever they did a flyover. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, they did it at Seminole School, wasn't it, John?
Yeah, that's right.
I think if you get that netbook set up for digital mode, that would definitely get your daughter interested in ham radio, because kids would rather do that than talk.
Yes, Ken.
Yeah, Josh Peter Core would be somebody he's very knowledgeable about the satellites and receiving their signals.
Yeah, I talked to him today on Messenger, and he told me that, geez, I mean, you can make contact with the ISS using just a handheld. I mean,
yeah,
and that's just 5 watts. I mean, the ICOM I have has 50 watts of output power. So I mean,
yeah. Well, that's who I talked to. The people that I talked to, they were from not Elon. I think it was Elon Musk. Those guys who went up there a couple of years ago, and they were doing a straight flyby, and I think we had about 2 minutes to talk to him, and he called me back, and I chatted with him for about 10 seconds, and my daughter was like, "Oh my gosh, you talked to an astronaut."
I worked a guy that was standing on the deck of a cruise ship that was anchored in Bermuda, and I worked him through a satellite from here on 2 meters, 2 meter 440. The satellites is up one band and down the other. So satellite is pretty easy to work. I worked the same guy. He worked at NASA. He was standing in the parking lot on his lunch hour, and I worked him through one of the linear birds. It was single sideband.
So do you have to have something that tracks that satellite, Ken?
It's better if you do, but
yeah,
some people get by without it. They mount you don't need a real big antenna, maybe 5 elements or so for 2 meters and maybe 7 or 8 for 440. And they mount it up at about a 30 or 45 degree angle, and then just rotate azimuth with the azimuth rotor. They don't do the elevation. They get by pretty good like that. Of course, if you have the Yaesu 5500 like I use on my moon bounce, then you can do the azimuth and elevation both. And the same program that I use for EME will also track a satellite. Satellites move pretty fast.
yeah, about 17,000 miles per hour.
Speaking of EME, Ken, I got Mark his deal you gave me.
Good. I don't know when he'll get around to using it, but
Well, yeah, but he's got it now, so he ain't got no excuses.
I told him I'd get it to him, but I figured I would get it, to one of the meetings at the fire station, but I haven't been going because of coronavirus.
Right.
We've all got our 3rd shot in this household now, so we're good.
Well, I broke down and got the Johnson & Johnson a couple weeks ago because if I didn't, they were going to kick me out of the reserve. So,
Yeah.
which that's a topic for another discussion. So,
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And I already had coronavirus back in August, so it made me sick as a dog for 3 days, but that was it. I mean,
Well, that's too much.
yeah, well, I mean,
What made you choose the J&J?
because it's the one shot, and the Johnson and Johnson was produced more of as a traditional vaccine, that it actually has the weakened or deactivated coronavirus in it instead of the mRNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm weary of that because of the whole thought of it, that it has DNA altering qualities to it.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't know where you got that, but I wouldn't hurt for my DNA to be changed a little anyway.
Well, plus, I just don't trust Pfizer and Moderna, so I don't like them. I don't like either one of those companies.
I got all 3 Modernas, and I had no problem. Barely had a sore arm on the last shot. Not any more so than when I got the flu shot.
I don't know. I got it from the VA, so they didn't tell me which one they gave me. So if I spontaneously combust, well.
Well, if you took 3, you either got the Pfizer or the Moderna.
Yeah, no, I didn't ask. I just said get it over with because I hate needles.
It was a 2-shot version though.
Oh, they were up to 4 now.
You've had
How many
4
shots?
shots?
You got 4 shots, John?
I don't know.
What, 2 boosters or what?
I have no idea. All I know is my doctor kept saying you need to get this, so I got it.
But one of them was probably a flu shot, John.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking that too, but I didn't
Yeah.
ask because I'm skittish in needles. So I just close my eye. I don't know what. So whenever I was a kid, I was getting some kind of vaccine or whatever it was, and the needle broke off in my arm.
Oh my gosh.
And my mother's a registered nurse, and she started cussing at the lady, and she pulled it out of my arm and told me to shut up.
How in the world did they manage to do that?
Well, I jerked.
He was probably squirming
Oh,
around.
okay.
I think it was like 5 years old. I jerked, and
Oh,
the thing broke right whenever she got it in there, and so
oh. Okay, so probably broke off where it attached to the syringe or something.
It was probably pretty easy to get out.
so it was. But I just never liked needles. That's just my thing. I don't know about y'all.
Nobody likes needles, John, but
You know, whenever I was in the Army, I literally walked through. They're just shot.
yeah, I went through the same thing. Anybody that's been in the military has been through that. Then they tell you to bend over.
Oh yeah, well I remember the penicillin shot. That nurse did not like me. And
I'm allergic to penicillin, so I didn't have to get that stupid shot.
dude, I couldn't sit for a week, and the drill sergeant was like, "What's your problem? What's your problem?" And I'm like, "I can't sit, drill sergeant." And he's like, "Sit down." No, okay. You know, but it hurt because that thing is like, I don't know how long it was, but you go into a private room. You go into a private room and she's like, she just doesn't care. She just jams it in there.
Josh, whenever I was in the Air Force, a friend of mine got 2 of his fingers shot off, and they gave him penicillin, and I swear his head swelled up like a watermelon.
Yeah.
You couldn't even recognize him. I'd almost killed him. It was worse than losing a couple of fingers.
Wow.
Well, if you have go into anaphylactic shock, it can kill you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
But,
and the thing is, it's not that I'm against vaccines. I'm just against them mandating that I have to get something. I mean,
Well, you're not the only one. I just had a discussion with my nephew here about why he wasn't getting inoculated, you know, and I think what it boiled down to, as near as I could understand with him, was I just don't like somebody trying to tell me what I'm supposed to do. Well, okay, you know.
Well,
And I know that the military and there's just, I mean, the military and vaccine, there's there's been some pretty egregious things that have happened in the military when it comes to vaccines. Just thinking about the anthrax vaccine debacle several years ago. I mean, that made a lot of people very, very sick, was the anthrax vaccine. And
well, unfortunately, we didn't have to take that.
there's still
Well, I think the worst one was the smallpox vaccine.
I don't know if I ever got smallpox.
Well,
I
so
don't think.
before I went to Iraq, they gave a smallpox vaccine. It requires pricks. They do pricks in your arm.
Right.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. With the tiny little needles.
Yeah.
I had that when I was a kid, John, no problem.
Yeah, well, I don't like needles. I told you that. And we're in a gymnasium in Germany before we went to Iraq, and they're like, "You got to have this," and they're just poking. I'm like, "Damn, you got to do it that many times." And then I remember the little spot turned green, and then they're like, "Don't touch it, don't mess with it." And one guy in my unit touched it, and then touched his face, and then he broke out, and it was pretty funny. And well, it wasn't funny for him, but you know.
I got a quick question.
Go ahead.
It's about those Ed Fong J-poles. What's the performance of them? I mean, I know the guy's brilliant. I mean, I read his bio. The guy sounds like he's a pretty brilliant individual. So
You'd have to ask Mark Klein because I don't have one.
I'll have to send him an email, because I sent him an email a couple weeks ago saying that I wanted one. So,
well, I'll talk to Mark on Friday and I'll tell him you want one.
Okay.
Well, you don't need one if John's going to give you.
Yeah.
Well, there you go too.
Yeah.
Save your money.
Yeah.
And I'll get pretty good performance out of that J-pole, right, John?
Oh yeah. You'll do great. No. So the reason why I give away stuff is because whenever I first got into ham radio, my dad got a bunch of people together, and they got me my first 2-meter handheld. One guy donated his HF rig. It was a 10 Tech Corsair 2, which I handed off to a ham who got his General whenever I was able to get my own radio. And so it's all about getting people involved and getting them on the air, and that's what's, what we're here to do. It's Elmer night, right? So, I mean, Ken's gave me a bunch of.
I suppose the only thing that I would need right now is, once we get everything, like get the license and get everything hooked up and all that, is I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to operate that ID 5100 Alpha. I mean,
well, so the J pole is completely resonant on 2 meters and 440. So you'll have no issue with that.
All you got to do is push the button.
Yep, that's it. So we're going to have a net here in 14 minutes, and it's basically figuring out PL tones for repeaters.
and I know that 5100, it has D stars on it, and
that's something you talk to Mark about. I don't know about D-Star.
I'm not a D-Star person either.
And I think the D-Star antenna that is the repeater at the Weather Center is down right now. So it's been down for a while. Now, I could be lying to you, but from what I understand, it's down. But that's where people would hit D-Star through the internet or whatever it works. Or
that part of that whole aspect of sending transmitting your signal over IP sounds pretty intriguing to me a little bit. So
Well,
Don't sound like ham radio to me.
Me either. I agree with you, Ken.
oh, come on, digital guy. Don't.
What I do doesn't go over the internet.
No, it doesn't go over the internet, but I'm just saying it's still digital.
but being able to make a contact the old-fashioned way using just a regular radio sounds pretty intriguing as well too. I mean,
Damn.
and I mean, Peter told me during certain like sporadic E, I mean, you can transmit that 2-meter signal up to 500 to 1,000 miles if you're lucky. So,
Well, let's put it this way. I worked South Korea today and Singapore and Philippines on 17 meters.
Well, okay, so here,
I didn't have to go through a repeater. Go ahead, John.
real quick, Ken, does his radio have digital modes?
Say that again.
Yeah, we got to ask Josh if this radio has digital modes.
is that what DV stands for?
No, that's that D-Star stuff.
Yeah.
His radio is just a 2-meter 440 FM radio that has
Gotcha.
D-Star, and D-Star is not the same.
No, you got to use an internet connection for that.
And it
But
goes to a repeater. It goes to a repeater to get the connection. Right?
Let's see. Let me,
The D-Star repeater is hooked to the internet. The way I gather. I don't do it, but Mike probably knows that. You wasn't here a while ago, Josh, when I read off some of the stations that I worked today, was you?
I think that was before he came on, Ken.
I think so too. Worked a couple of pretty good African stations today.
South Africa or?
Yeah, South Africa, and I can't remember what that other country was.
Well, whoever said that the hex beam weighs 25 pounds is right.
well,
okay, it says here that it has a digital voice mode. The
There you go.
icon.
Yeah, Bill, you was probably lifting your stand too, so.
Yeah, I was trying to just scoot it. The stand probably weighs more than the antenna.
Yeah.
yeah, real quick, Bill, where are you at so far now?
Well, on the antenna or just in general? I'm putting the hex beam together inside my shop. And I'm going to go ahead and string it, get it all completely put together. And then I can't get it out of the shop without doing some disassembly or collapsing the elements.
I got that icon for Christmas from my dad this year. So,
Go ahead, Bill.
so I'm pretty stoked about it. I looked at all sorts of different radios. I looked at a handheld, and then I figured, well, I mean, if for the same price that I was going to look at getting like a Yaesu FT5DR handheld, I could have gotten that icon and have 45 more watts of transmit power. So
Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, well, I'm putting the hex beam together, John, inside my shop. And then I'm going to try to figure out what I have to do to get it out of there.
Right.
How much I have to take apart, but I thought it'd be
Gotcha.
be better to go ahead and get it fully assembled to make sure everything went together. And sure enough, I came up short 3 parts today. So I had to call DX Engineering and have them send me, there are 3 element clamps that are missing out of the kit. So doing it in the shop and making sure everything is there and fits together was probably a pretty good idea, I guess. But it won't go out in one piece because the door is not near big enough. But I think I can, the fiberglass elements are telescoping tubes. And I think I can collapse those back down and maybe get it so I don't have to take it completely apart to get it out the door.
But is it a door like a garage door or a?
It's a big door. It's a 10 foot by 10 foot overhead door. But the beam, the hex beam is 22 foot across.
Right.
So,
So that covers 20, 15, and 10 and 6.
and 17.
Oh, 17 too.
Yeah, it covers it.
2015, 2015, 17. Does it cover 12?
Yes.
12, 10, and 6. 6?
No, no, 6.
Okay.
No 6.
1, 2,
Now
3, 4, 5 bands, huh?
Right. Yeah. Now there are versions of it that do have a 6 meter element on them. Although they're not, it's not a Yagi, it's just a 6 meter dipole that they rigged up on it some way. Some people have said they work and some people have said they don't work too good, but the DX Engineering version of that doesn't have that 6 meter.
Yeah.
But I've got room. I think you told me to think about putting a little 2 meter Yagi down below, underneath, and I might do that. I don't have anything to transmit on 2 meters or receive yet, but if I do decide to get on 2 meters, I could, put a little 2 meter Yagi up there. And
I do got a question about interference when it comes to radio transmission. So at my house, I have has anyone heard of helium?
Yeah, you put it in a balloon.
No, well, I've got a helium hotspot, which is a cryptocurrency miner, and it has an external antenna that receives and radiates at like 915 megahertz.
You probably won't have any problem with that.
Okay.
It won't be any more than a router.
Okay. All right, cool. It's a pretty nice antenna too. It's a fiberglass antenna that's like 4 foot, 5 foot long, and it's been making contacts with other helium miners in Norman. So it's interesting. So, but thank you for that.
how's that working out for you, Josh?
Oh, I haven't looked at it in a while, but I know that I think the value of all the tokens that I've collected with this miner could be well over like $100,000.
So can you go buy some ham gear with that money?
Well, I could, but I think that's what if I did sell any of that, it's gonna go and help pay for my kids' college. So.
I have a good friend that really got in early on, not on helium, but on just regular Bitcoin and Ethereum, and did really, 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 really well. It's amazing.
They say that hindsight is retrospect, but I wish I would have gotten in and bought like 10,000 shares of GameStop and then sold it when it went up to like $400 a share. So that was it. Well, I got a kid that needs to get in the bath. It was good talking to you, gentlemen. So I look forward to coming. I'll be there. The 6th is next week, right? Or the week after that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just give me a shout. And I'll give you that antenna.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate I appreciate talking to you all you tonight and just picking your brain about some things. I mean, some of this stuff I kind of already knew from being a meteorologist and doing stuff with atmospheric propagation when it comes to certain sensors and stuff like that and radar. Some of it's a little bit Greek to me, so I suppose I just need to keep on learning. So
What we're all doing.
Yeah. It's a never ending thing.
well, y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Take care.
Good seeing you.
Good to meet you, Josh.
Good to meet you too.
Well, anyway, John,
Yeah.
between Ken and I, we've got you fixed up with computers, I think.
You're going to be computer poor when time we get through with you.
Oh, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I think.
Yeah, just real quick, did you take my number down there, Mr. Bill?
I did.
You-
590-4350.
Yeah, do you want money for that or
No.
okay.
No. I want the same amount you got for your antenna there.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I'll bring my bag over. I'll throw an antenna in the tree for you.
No, I was just kidding.
So real quick, Ken, I wanted to tell you that I got the 40-meter ends up above 10 feet. Remember we were talking about that last week.
Yeah.
And I'm yet to test it.
Well, it may have changed your SWR a little bit, maybe for the better or maybe for the worse, but it shouldn't have changed it very much.
Right. But we were talking about that. Not to cut you off, Bill. Oh, now it's 8 o'clock. Good. Really? Oh, God, Galen. But yeah, I took that into account, so I got it up there is what I meant.
Good. Put some posts in the ground.
No, actually. Let me check it real quick and then I'll come back and I'll tell you what I did.
Okay.
If you don't mind. You gonna be here for
John,
goodness,
you're
Ken?
frozen.
Yeah, we'll be here. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, my internet connection sucks because I got 15 different connections connected to it. So
Yeah, you're breaking up some.
Are you wired, John, or do you use wireless?
I'm using wire.
Okay.
I'm using wireless, but I got kids that are doing crazy stuff. Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah, we don't have a problem here. My daughter's daughter-in-law is streaming video in one room. My son's streaming in the other room, and I'm on here. And this internet is solid.
What do you get there, Ken? Have you ever done you do speed tests?
It's 250 megabytes.
Whoa, golly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cable.
Yeah. I live in the city limits of Norman. I live on 48th and on 36th. Cox hooked everybody up, and OEC is hooking up their customers in my neighborhood or around me. But I'm on OG&E, and they said someday we'll hook up the OG&E people maybe, but
Yeah.
they're going to do all their OEC people first.
I have
So,
a daughter that doesn't live too far from you. They live in a addition south of 149, kind of straight south of Draper Lake, maybe about half a mile or so. And I can't remember what the north-south road is. What's a north-south road that is east of you?
it's east of me.
Hmm.
Um,
The main one.
well,
I know.
I'm on 48th, and there's 60th, and then there's 72nd out there.
Oh, okay. Well, those streets change when you go past 149. And I can't remember what it is. I know that it's west of Choctaw Road,
Oh yeah, that's a long way out there.
west of Anderson Road a little ways, and then south.
Is she able to get any internet out there, or?
Yeah, they have internet. I don't know how they're getting it. I don't know if it's cable or what, but
Yeah, I'm using a service that T-Mobile came out with called Home Internet,
mhm.
and they send you a box, a transceiver essentially, that hits their cell tower, and it
Mhm.
uses their cell tower signal to
Yeah,
and depending on how close you are to the cell tower, you can get some people are getting 600-700 megabits per second. I'm getting between 30 and 50,
mhm.
which is 10 times, 20 times better than I had. So
Oh yeah.
it works pretty good for me.
This is underground cable here from a company out of Shawnee. So
Yeah, that's the way to go if you can get it. I just
it's
can't get it.
fiber up to maybe about a mile from me, then it's copper after that.
Well, that's the way Cox is, but OEC is putting, of course, all their stuff is brand new and they're just putting it in, but they're doing fiber all the way to your house.
Yeah,
And the fiber plugs into the back of their
router.
their router box.
Mhm. Yeah.
My
Okay, I'm
nephew-
back, guys.
My
Sorry, Brad.
nephew who
Okay.
lives just down the street from me, on the same street, but just down the street, is on OEC, and they put it in. They hooked him up, and you can get up to a gigabit.
Yeah.
On their service if you want.
Tell you the truth, I couldn't tell any difference when it went from 100 megabytes to 250.
Well, unless you have something that many people on that would be using that much service, you probably wouldn't notice anything. I mean, I do fine on around 40 megabits per second, but we don't have a lot of things. It's just my wife and I, and typically we're not. We may be on the internet at the same time, but
Oh, we do a lot of streaming around here.
yeah, we do too. But generally, we're watching together. I mean, we're
Yeah.
not, we're not watching separate
Yeah.
TVs. So, and when we're streaming TV and I'm not doing anything else. So
Yeah.
it works out okay. I mean, I'd sure like.
It's probably fast enough for no more than you stream.
Well, it is. I mean, for the 10 or 12 years before that, ever since we moved out here, all I had was 4.5 gigabit or megabit per second on a Wi-Fi company called Sooner. little antenna on my roof.
Mhm. You probably wasn't streaming then though.
Yeah, I could
Okay.
stream on it. I couldn't stream. I couldn't stream 4K. I could stream high def on with it,
Mhm.
but I couldn't stream the 4K
Yeah.
broadcasts. But I can with I can, as long as I can get 25 megabits per second or better,
Mhm.
I can stream 4K.
Mhm. Well, I'm anxious for you to get that thing up and going.
Me
Did you ever
too.
watch any YouTubes on how to hook up that digital WSJTX to your transceiver? How to get all that working?
I haven't, but I think that guy that I was telling you that had all the videos on the
Mhm.
DX10,
Yeah. Mhm.
I think I'll just plow through his
Yeah.
what all he has on there and see if I can find it. I don't think it's very hard though.
No. That's what I did to figure out how to connect this new icon that I bought. I watched a couple of videos and punched the right buttons and it started working. There's a lot of menu crap on this icon. It's one of them things where you're gonna have to read the book every time. You're not gonna remember them all.
Yeah, this transceiver came with a pretty good sized book.
I have to watch YouTube so I can get more out of that than reading the book.
Yeah, I like YouTubes too, especially if you can find some guys that really do a good job and
Mhm.
on their YouTubes put some work into it, and the guys that are trying to make a living out of it,
Yeah.
they put a lot of effort into a lot of times into and there's several on ham radio guys on there that I watch
Mhm.
that that's what they do, I think, for an occupation is
Yeah.
their YouTube channel.
Make a little extra money that way, I guess.
I think that's all they do. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I'm surprised John don't put up an antenna and start mining in Bitcoins.
Yeah, I'm not that ambitious. Real quick, you talking about internet. So I've been telling my wife that she needs to switch out this router. About 4 years old, and they don't understand. They have TVs connected to it, Nintendo, computers,
Yeah.
Another computer, my computer, and so the bandwidth just can't. Phones.
Yeah.
Phones is a big one, and so you get 13 devices on one router. That's what, 4 years old. Well, I mean, what do you want?
yeah,
And
it's kind of bog it down for sure.
Is that Cox Cable?
yes.
Well, they'll do it for free, won't they?
Well, I told her that. Listen, I'm not gonna dispute. I know we're being recorded, and I ain't gonna say nothing wise about the wife. So I'm gonna be quiet now. But but I told her we need to get rid of this thing. We've had it since 2017.
I don't know. There's probably you could get on the website and find out what model number is the recent router and then your model number, and it probably can figure out the deficiency in your router.
Right.
Figure out if you need to upgrade or not. But 4 years is a long time for a router.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But she's got her mom's iPad connected to it. Her mom's phone's connected to it. Her mom's phone's TV connected to it. The kids' TV, the front room TV, this computer, my phone, her phone, my work phone. I mean, it just gets overloaded with bandwidth.
And you're doing that all wirelessly, right?
Right.
Do you have the capability to run 2.4 gig and 5 gig on that router?
Yes.
Okay. Because you can put
Yeah.
part of the people over on 5 and part on 2.4 and kind of split the load that way.
Yeah, I think everybody's on the 5. I think that's the problem.
Well, I mean, put some of them on 2.4. They'd never know the difference.
Well, I never ever tried that before, but I do actually I have one computer that does not get Wi-Fi out here, and it's connected to a wire, but it's off right now. So, yeah, it's just a multitude of stuff.
Are you operating over Wi-Fi right now?
Yes.
Can you get a wire to the router and instead of doing it wireless?
Not in this computer, no.
Not in the, you can't physically run the wire, you mean, or?
No, I have the wire, but this computer does not have
Oh. It
You don't
doesn't
have a what?
It doesn't
You
have
don't
a
have a
LAN
wireless
port
card
in
in
it.
it?
right. It doesn't have a LAN to it, an LAN is what I mean.
Hello,
Well,
Larry.
You're gonna have one that, you're gonna have one that does here. If you find time to come by and get it.
There you go. I think
Hold on, I'm now I got the whole world falls apart here. Oh,
Larry got a haircut or something. What time you gonna be by here tomorrow, John?
I'm shooting between 10:30 and noon. Is that okay?
That's fine.
I'm gonna give you a call before I come.
All right.
I don't know how heavy we're gonna be tomorrow because of New Year's. So
Yeah.
you gonna be home all day or?
Yeah. You gonna be in your van?
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd drive that big beer truck over here.
No. My driver drives that, and I just help him on Wednesday. But I'm telling you, I hate that travel plaza. That travel plaza is the Antichrist, and I hate that place. It's just I hate going there.
Yeah. That's the gas station part, right?
Right. And my driver, he hates the casino.
Well, the good thing about that casino over there, not too far from me, is when we had that big ice storm a few years ago, that was the only place around here you could buy gas. So I had to go over there and buy gas for my car and truck and generator, and there was always a long line.
Well, now I'm going to look now. I'm going to see how heavy we are. I hope it's not bad.
Larry, you're in a different location, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm in Galveston.
Well, what are you doing in Galveston?
Vacation.
Just a vacation thing. That's great. That beats the heck out of a work thing. So what are you doing on vacation? Going deep sea fishing and
Nah. Just hanging out. Just came back from the restaurant.
well, I got good shrimp down there.
I mean, you fit. When you look out the restaurant window and you see the boat that caught your fish,
Yeah, there's the shrimp boat.
you know it's
Pretty fresh.
pretty fresh.
Yeah. We used to go down South Texas between Christmas and New Year's, and I used to go to Aransas Wildlife Refuge to do deer photography. But there was a restaurant there at Fulton. It's a small town down there. And it was all the shrimp and steak you could eat. So you could pile your plate up with shrimp and steak and or whichever you wanted. And it was really good. That shrimp, fresh caught shrimp is hard to beat.
They'd
Yeah,
go
this
broke.
was-
They'd go broke in Oklahoma trying to, if you could load up as much as you wanted, I don't know if they could make any money in Oklahoma.
Probably not. I guess that shrimp's probably a little bit cheaper down there than it is here.
Yeah.
Don't have to ship it. You
How about some crawfish?
can get that in Louisiana.
Well, I went to Port Aransas a few years ago, wanted to get crawfish. They told me I need to jump in the lake.
Yeah. You have to go to New Orleans to get that.
Man, I want some crawfish really bad. Big old boil. So real quick, Bill, so you're talking about your antenna. So how long do you estimate it's going to be till you're up there getting it ready?
If I told you, I'd be lying. So.
Well, no, real quick on your your tower, is it retractable or?
No, it's hinged at the base.
It's
And
a
I've got
tilt over.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I've got a gin pole with a winch on it that I am hoping to tilt it up and down with.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Well, you can go ahead and put them other sections on there then.
Yeah, I could. But
So those 10-foot sections, Bill?
yes. Yeah, they're 10-foot sections.
So a section's pretty light, isn't it?
It is. You can pick it up with one hand and carry it off, no sweat.
That's good.
Yeah, it's lightweight. I may wish I had put up a heavier tower. I don't know. We'll see. It's adequate for
what you're doing.
For what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can put a little more on it. I can put a 2 meter on it.
Oh yeah, easy.
Um,
Probably put bigger antenna than that on it.
Okay.
If it's down close to the rotor, you can't put anything above it hardly, the way the X beam's designed, but you could probably put a 2 and a 6, both.
Yeah.
And then inverted V for the lower bands.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It definitely wouldn't take any kind of a 40 meter antenna, other than supporting the end of a dipole.
That's good enough anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. Taking your suggestion and putting an eye bolt or a pulley or something up there. I think you said stay away from the pulleys and use an eye bolt.
Yeah, use a stainless steel eye bolt. John, is that inverted via yours? Is it 80 meter? Oh, it's a multiband.
No, I'm all mono.
So the inverted V is on what band?
Right.
What band is it on?
I have 10, 20, 40, and 80.
Inverted V?
Yep.
One feed line?
Per antenna, yes. Okay, so best example I give you is I have a switch out there like this, only it has 4 on it, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yeah.
And whenever I want to use it, I just over here, I just switch it to where I want to go. So I want to go to 10 meters, I switch all the way over to 10. It's all marked 20, 40, 80.
So is that switch in the house?
No, the switch is outside. No.
Okay. So you got one feed line coming into your transceiver, goes to that switch.
Right.
And you can go outside and switch whatever band you want.
Yeah, right there on the fence.
Yeah,
So I kind of got it covered up in a box,
yeah.
so it doesn't freeze over, just so it
Yeah.
get weathered. But yeah, it's 1 feed line and 4 switches. So it's 1, 2, 3.
Or position switch.
And so they're all monoband dipoles.
Well, your dad taught you well.
Well, he had one out there too, and I used to play with it. He's like, "Boy, get away from there before I hit you." And,
Switch the antennas on him.
well, yeah, well, I did it a couple of times when I was young because he had a back deck, but he had a tower,
Mhm.
and but he had several different dipole antennas that were slopers.
Yeah,
And he'd have a switch there, and I'd go play with them. I'd go pop, 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 and he'd be tuning up and
Yeah.
realize that he wasn't on the right band, and
Yeah.
he'd come and yell at me.
Yeah, especially if he's tuning up some big linear or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what he was doing, and
Ooh.
man, he would get
Ouch.
he'd get just fighting mad,
Yeah, I can imagine.
and you'd hear him come up them stairs. Dut 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 dut. Where is the boy at? I don't know. What did I do? You go back out there and you switch it to where it says 20.
Yeah, that could
Yeah.
play havoc with a big, powerful linear.
Well, all little kids want to play with knobs.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got a 7-year-old son, and he wants to just turn and switch and make it clank up and down, and that's just I don't know. I was trying to be like Dad. How's that? Saw him out there messing with stuff, but yeah, and I still have not got his tower down. I still have to go out there and take it down.
Where's it at?
It's in Greenbrier, Tennessee.
Oh, my word.
What kind of tower is it?
It's a Roan tower. It's 70 feet up, and it's 20 meter beam.
Yeah.
And from what I was talking this weekend, it's on its last legs. So I got to get out there and get it down.
It's probably around 25.
Yeah.
It's steel tower. That's what my tower is, and it's really good tower. And at the time, you could buy those sections for $50 a piece, and now they're a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, and so what was it? He didn't have a rotator. He used me to climb up there and turn it.
Yeah,
And he said, "Don't turn it while I'm transmitting."
that would get old. That would get old.
Yeah, well, the rotor broke, and he never got it fixed.
Well, I got one like that too.
Yeah, I was thinking about climbing up your 10-meter thing and turning that thing the other way for you, so you can get on the net tomorrow.
I can climb up there myself.
You're not going to fall off that thing.
I've been up there 100 times. I tried to get on the net. It's pointing backwards toward the net.
That's what I'm saying. You need to
And
get up
I
there and
could
turn it.
I could just barely hear the net control.
That was me that night.
Huh?
That was me that night.
Was it?
Yep.
I could hear voices, but I couldn't make out what they were saying.
I was coming in on the back end of your beam, though.
Yeah, I was pointed toward Europe.
You turn that bad boy back, point it towards Australia.
I worked a bunch of Europeans on that beam today
Oh wow!
in Northern Africa. And
I
there's
didn't tell
Sam. Sam, did we wake you up, Sam?
Yeah, Sam got in
Hey
here.
guys, I just got in. Had to take my wife down to a play downtown. She doesn't like to drive at night. In about 20 minutes, I got to turn around and go back and pick her up. Anyway, it's better.
You better talk fast then, Sam.
She's not comfortable driving at night anymore. So,
Yeah, I'm not either. I can't.
well, I'm not either, but I'm more comfortable than she is. So,
Yeah.
it's, she about killed me when we. Oh, I shouldn't say this. We're being recorded.
That's twice tonight. I said that too.
She's even like, jittery when I'm driving. I mean, it's
Too many idiots out there, Sam.
well, that's true, but that's one reason why I drive a pickup most of the time too.
Yeah.
At least I've got some mass. But, anyway, so y'all, what do y'all got? Y'all have a good Christmas?
Oh yeah, we managed to get through it. Still eating leftovers.
Well, we actually had a really small turkey this year, and it was mostly gone by the time the family left, which was a good thing. I really like it, but I only like it for a few days.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, we had a big ham.
Well,
about gone now though. Sandwiches and ham and eggs for breakfast and all that stuff.
I'm with Sam. I'm over it. It's time to go on to other food.
Yeah.
I'm ready for like spaghetti or something. But no more ham, no more turkey. It's
I bet they had hams on sale last year. Beautiful hams at Sam's, and they were cheap. I can't even remember, but they were like really cheap. And I bought like 5 of these, hams and froze them. And I froze them. So I've got a lot of ham. I've got partials, and I mean I froze it in all sorts of different configurations. But
well, that's good.
Yeah.
You could probably sell them now and make a profit.
Yeah.
Everything's gone up since then.
Just almost nothing you can't sell now that you bought a year ago that you can't make a profit on.
That's right.
It's I don't know if you can see I just got this. Let me sit up here. I'm just all slouched over. I just got these shirts today, and I don't know if you can see my.
Can't read it.
Yeah,
It's your call sign?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I got this for Christmas. There you go. I don't
You
know.
got a hat?
Yeah, I got a new
that's
hat.
Great. It's even got an ARRL symbol on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I had a hat done, but since my name's in my call sign, I don't put my name and then my call sign I just put my call sign. Let them figure it out.
Here comes Ken there.
Oh. See, and I got my.
Yeah, there you go. Your little scars thing. Well, she wanted an
emblem on there too. Yeah.
Now this is an old crusty thing, but this is my dad's here. It's all nasty.
Oh yeah, that's his call.
Yeah, well but I took his call when he passed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this was his hat there, and man, it's all it's pretty gross. But
so he lived in Tennessee.
Yeah, he lived here, and then he moved to Tennessee.
What part of Tennessee?
Oh, he lived in Greenbrier.
Greenbrier.
Oh, it's about 20 miles north of Nashville.
I was gonna say that sounds like something that's around Nashville.
Yeah, it's up there in Nashville, but he was in the country music scene there, and the old steel guitar playing or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And when he passed, I took his call.
But you didn't take his tower.
No, I got to go get it. Still got to go get it.
So does your family still own the property that the tower is on, or?
Yeah, the house is still there, and I get bugged every Sunday about when I'm coming to get it, and just with work and all that, it's been too hard. And then with COVID going on, I had members of his club that were going to come help me take it down, and they're all skittish about it. And then we were going to do it in the summertime, but it was too hot.
Yeah.
And no offense to them, but we're talking about 70-plus-year-old guys.
Shoot, they're young, man. They ought to be able to climb up there easy.
But yeah, I got to go get it down, and it's still there. It survives the wind and all that. And And I get hollered at every week about when I'm coming out there to get it down. And
So it's not a tilt over?
no, it's straight up.
So you're gonna have to climb it and take one section at a time down and.
Yeah, we have to climb it and get the beam off of it, and then it's cemented into the ground.
Well, you just cut it off, cut the
Yeah.
bottom section off.
Yeah.
And leave it, rest of it in the ground.
You know, and that coax still comes through the basement and all that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get all that stuff off, and yeah, so it's not something I can do by myself.
So you're saying the antenna on it is not working, or?
No, it's everything's great. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I want to bring it back here, but I don't know how to bring it back here. I gotta like fly out there and
Take it apart.
Yeah.
Take
What
it
are the
apart.
sections, 10 or 20 feet long? I mean,
Oh geez, I'd have to show you a picture of it.
They're 10-foot sections, Sam.
Yeah, 10-foot
is that what
sections.
they are?
Right.
Okay.
But I'm saying you can take the antenna apart and
Yeah.
and strap it to the tower sections and put it in the back of your pickup and head home.
Yeah, I was thinking about flying out there and renting a U-Haul and doing it that way.
Yeah. Well, I've known guys that would go up there and take the antenna down, and then they would cut 2 legs on the tower and let it fall, and then salvage the sections that didn't get damaged. So it depends on, if you climb the tower, you're going to have a gin pole to take it down section at a time.
Yeah.
And you're
And
gonna be fat and rusty bolts.
yeah,
Well, it's only been there 30 years, so
they're growed together now.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I think that tower's been up since 1993.
Yeah. You're gonna have to take a can of WD-40 up there with you.
And a good electric impact wrench.
So I was kind of hoping what's that, Bill?
Electric impact wrench.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping the wind would have took it down by now, but it has not.
Well, they don't have wind out there except for that tornado.
Yeah.
They don't have
Well,
wind.
they had that tornado in Bowling Green, and that's about 45 miles north of them. And I was like, oh, for sure, that thing is on the ground.
Yeah.
And she was like, nope, still standing. I'm like, oh.
How close to the house is it?
Oh, it's close. It's like
Oh,
right
okay.
there.
So
they
it
have
could fall on the house?
Oh, it's gonna fall on that deck, and that would make her really, really angry. They just got that deck redone 5 years ago, and the top of it. I think he raised hell about who put the roof on there or whatever, because it was leaking water, and all that stuff went into the basement that he had, and so I got to get out there and do it. I'm going to do it.
I don't know. I kind of like Ken's idea. Cut the right guy wire so it doesn't fall on the house and let it take itself down.
Yeah. You'll lose a few sections, but most of them will come out okay.
Really, I would have thought there would have been a lot of damage doing it that way.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what's going to hit. If it's got something in the way.
That out there in Tennessee too, they have these things like hills, so it's not real flat like here where, So,
Oh, this is going to take out somebody's fence, and that's why I don't want to.
Oh, it's in a neighborhood.
Yeah, he lived in a neighborhood up there, and his backyard wasn't real big.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yep, and so the neighbors that lived just behind him just put up a brand new wood fence, from what I was told, and I was like, well, if I let the thing fall 70 feet, is going to just destroy it. Now
Yeah.
I'm liable for a fence.
Yeah, I could tear up a lot of stuff. Houses,
People.
people, buildings.
And So we'll figure it out eventually.
So John, on your way back home, do you want to swing by and pick up those computers I've got for you? Or?
Yeah, that's fine. Just send me a text there. I'm going to stop by Ken's first and then.
What time do you think you might come by here?
1 or 1:30, is that okay? Or
No, be okay with me.
because what time I usually stop by yours there, Ken? What, 10:30?
Yeah, I think it was, last time it was earlier than that, but
Yeah, we were done early last week. This one I'm thinking we'll be there at 11. And it all depends on who we have to deal with.
we're gonna load John up with computers, Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna have more computers than anybody in the neighborhood when we get through with it.
What was it last week when he was whining? They had to give his to his kids, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm giving him one and Bill's giving him a couple.
Well, no, I didn't. No, I wasn't whining about that.
I'm just teasing you, John.
No, I got you. They had to have one for school.
Well, yeah, you're a good fellow.
And so guess what? They by the way, Sam, they broke it.
Oh no.
They got in a fight over a computer game and the thing. So it was one of those HPs that was just a screen.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it does not have a tower.
Right.
And so they got shoving each other, and one of them went into the desk, and the other one hit it with the shoulder, and the thing came flopping right on down.
Oh my
It
gosh.
just cracked, and that's why we can't have nice things. I was telling Ken last week, I said, man, I'd have all the radios I want if my kids stopped breaking shit.
That's what kids do, John.
If you guys could go through the house and not touch anything, we'd be good. But yeah, Mr. Bill, I'll stop over there. You got my number, right? Well, yeah, you have it. And just give me a ring or give me a text or whatever you do there.
Yeah.
And,
Get some heavy lifting lined up so John can do it while he's there, Bill.
yeah, well, might as well. Put me to work.
Put him to work.
Are you sure you don't want an antenna and some coax to go up so you can get started on that radio?
Well, I don't even have a.
So here's what I'm going to do, Ken. I'm going to take my go bag with me, and we'll see if he says the same thing tomorrow. How's that?
Well, the problem is I don't have any way to get coax inside the house yet. I have to go out there.
Who says you got to come inside the house?
Well,
I've got a hammer drill you can borrow.
There you go.
I've got a hammer drill and it's going to get some use because I'm going to have to go through stone and hopefully I can find a spot at a junction of some stones where it's mainly mortar because that stone is
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah, and it's about 4 inches thick.
Yeah.
Your workshop where you're putting up that hex beam, where's it at? Is it in your house or is it your outhouse or what?
It's about 150 feet north of the house, 120 feet maybe. I don't know.
Ken, I'm gonna get him onto the air tomorrow.
Is that close to the antenna, Bill? Is the building close to where you're putting the antenna?
No, not really. There's plenty of space, so I tried to keep the antenna,
Far enough away that,
yeah, away from everything,
yeah,
away from the building, away from the house.
that's a good deal.
It's got its own little spot out there.
Yeah. That way it won't pick up a bunch of noise and run that coax underground. You'll have the quietest received station around.
Well, I hope so. That would be neat. Be nice. But yeah, it's a little tricky getting into the house. I think I've got it figured out what I'm going to do. But it's kind of hard to locate exactly where to drill from the outside. know exactly where it's going to come out inside. I've,
Drill it from the inside.
well, it's, then
Drill
I
a
would,
pilot hole from the inside.
yeah, but it's got stone on the outside. If it was something I could drill through, I would take a small, I've got a lot of long bits that I could, small diameter I could drill a hole with, but they don't go through that stone.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to locate, and I started it. I used a long level and went out through the window behind me, and then drew a level line around there, and then measured down from the window sill down to the floor, and then drew a level line around, and then had to turn a corner. And well, anyway, I'll get there.
I did all this measuring in my house, and then actually that scoundrel Mark Klein made a suggestion. I have a brick house. He said, just take out a whole brick. So I took out a whole brick, and that was easy. Then I had this, space this long and this tall to hit. And then I just put brick back in after I, pieces of brick on either side. So,
I just took out a half a brick, and the mortar on each side of it was big enough for the PVC that I put through the wall.
well, that's what I ended up with, but I took out a whole brick, and then
Yeah.
after I got the PVC in there, it turned out it was over to one side, and I just put a half brick back in and mortared it back in. And
My wall's a foot thick, so I had a little bit of problem, but not much.
yeah,
It's brick though, it's not rock.
my walls are concrete.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is it's got rebar in it, and I winged a piece of rebar. I mean, just
How do you know where the rebar's at? It's
You don't.
well, I know basically where the rebar is, but it had a lot of variance. They put it.
I wonder if a stud locator would pick that up.
No, well, it hasn't worked for me. Maybe a better one might, but
You say your outside walls of your house are concrete?
yep,
Really?
yeah.
How thick?
Well, it's a product called polysteel, and basically these foam blocks
Mhm.
that
Oh, okay.
are
Okay.
either 8 inches deep or 10 inches deep, and there's inside that foam there are columns that go this way, and there's columns or the beams that go this way, and then there's like a web in between.
Yeah.
Rebar's inside those columns.
It makes a
And,
pretty strong, well insulated house.
Oh yeah, yeah. And problem is, if you hit one of those columns, A, you got to deal with the rebar.
Yeah.
B, you've like an 8-inch block has 6 inches of concrete. There's just an inch of foam, and so you got to go through a lot of concrete. And
Yeah.
it's it gets kind of complicated. A little planning and a little measuring, and you can. But I hit a horizontal rebar. I was able to miss the verticals, and I hit a horizontal one. But that's I got through it.
Yeah, I drilled this hole here from the inside, so that way I didn't have to worry about it. And I didn't hit a brick in the right place, so I didn't hit it in the mortar. I had to go through the brick, but
Right.
I was able to do it.
The real nice thing in my ham shack is I've got suspended ceiling down there, so didn't matter. I had a large area I could come out, and I'd just be above the ceiling, and I figured it out once I got through it. But wasn't worried about being too pinpoint on the inside, so I went from the outside.
So you came in up high.
Yeah. I have a walkout basement, and it was so I came in up high and above that ceiling, and then didn't really care what it looked like on the inside. But,
So yeah, Bill, give me a shout tomorrow if you're available.
Yeah, I'll be here. just call you on your, is this your cell phone number?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll give you a call after lunch.
Yeah, that's fine, because I'll be finishing up work and then I'm gonna stop by Ken. And then I'll roll your way.
Okay.
And
I'll call you and tell you how to get here. It's not that difficult.
You might be able to go down 149
where's that at?
from my house. From my house, go
What is it? Well, I use 132. So
from my house. If you go west to Newalla Road and go south to 149.
yeah. That's here in Newalla, yeah.
Here in Newalla, go south to 149, and
Bill, are you by the lake?
he's south of the lake.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
He's south of Draper Lake.
Yeah. I'm south of Draper.
Okay.
I'm due south of Draper about a couple of miles.
Okay. That's
Well,
fine.
Be
Are
a
you
long ways
familiar
out of the way if you went to Highway 9 and then had to go back north. So I'm just
Right.
saying, go down 149.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know where Tecumseh is?
Yep.
Okay, well, when you're at corner of 48th and Tecumseh, you're very close to my house.
Okay. Well, he's not that far then. Yeah, you're not that far at all. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm over in that area. Yeah.
He's not very far from me.
No. My route has me all over there. Stella and oh geez. Around the boonies on Wednesday. So, and it kind of spits us out there at the Fire Lake there. And you're right there at the casino.
Yeah.
But right. Oh.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna jump off here.
Yeah, I've got to around right back downtown, but
yeah, that's a good, nice, fun drive, huh?
Talk to you guys next year.
Okay.
All right, Sam, take care.
Have a good New Year's.
You too. All right, Ken and Bill, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
See you guys tomorrow.
You guys have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Can you hear me now? I tried doing your idea last week here. You weren't here. I tried to set up and to try to run through my system. Still tells me it won't let me go through that server.
Yeah, we'll have to work on it later.
I even was told last week that I need to do that IP chicken. So it's using the outside ID and not the inside ID. Like the one it shows on the server, the little box down there, and when it sets up the server and you can see your 192.168, whatever. And then if you do the IP chicken, it actually shows a different one, which is your outside one. And you need to be connecting using the outside one, not the inside one. I couldn't do it either way. And I know I set it up. I set it up on the router to allow that one for 5,900 to go through.
Okay, I'm listening to 2 conversations at once. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I'm listening to that. Besides talking to you.
Okay. I'll get with you soon and we'll try to figure it out.
I'll probably be there next week.
Okay. We'll see if we can't figure out what I'm doing.
All
right.
It takes a while to get things set up right, but once you do, it's handy.
Yes, it is. And I want to be able to do that with multiple computers like you do. All right. Have a good evening.
You too.